Good afternoon, everybody. I thought I'd do a quick update on the aquaponics system, and this is going to be one of my dry land strategies as well. So coping with drought and not a lot of rain, which is what we're experiencing in Queensland at the moment. Although we did get some lovely rain last night, which was the first time in a long time. It was so good to hear, and it has really helped cool everything down significantly. It's still a lot warmer than it normally would be in spring at this time of year, but it's a lot nicer than it has been. So yeah, anyway, so this is one of my other dry land strategies. Aquaponics is an extremely effective use of water. Uses a lot less water than any other gardening systems that I'm aware of. Wicking beds are possibly up there too, but the aquaponics system is very, very efficient. So the way it works, I'll show you on a simpler system. So just walk down here. So we've got a few aquaponic systems around the place. This one's actually one that we've just moved over, so it's still in flux a little bit, and the water's not quite doing the right thing because I haven't adjusted all the flows properly and all that sort of fun stuff. It does take a little bit to get your head around how it all works, and keeping it balanced. It does take a bit of maintenance, but that's anything that's in gardening. And this system's only just been moved, so these plants have only just been put in here like a couple of days ago. That system's a much more mature system. So yes, so an aquaponic system is basically you have fish in the sump, so they swim around and they fertilise the water, they do their thing, and there's a pump that pumps the water up into the garden beds. So it pumps up into this one. I will have this one set up and it's pumping into that one. So what it does is it constantly fills, and then once it gets to a certain level, an automatic siphon starts and it drops down and drains out, which is what's happening over here at the moment. Well, it's thinking about it, but I've got the water levels all wrong at the moment, so it's not working at the moment properly. So turn that down, it'll... See, this system is still in flux. That system's working a lot better, although I'm having other challenges with it. But that system over there is producing an enormous amount of food. And that is running on pretty much sheer total utter neglect. Oh, here we go. That siphon's just started properly now. So what it's doing at the moment is it'll actually empty out the bed, and once it gets to the right point, it'll actually shut off, and there shouldn't be any water coming out of there at all, technically, if I've got it set up properly, which I haven't, because I'm still planning on putting 2 more of those sort of IBC beds there, but I'm going to be using the 2 that are over there. Which brings me to the Permaculture crop swap and catch up, which is on this Saturday. So I'm going to be talking about strategies for coping with the drought. So talking about oyas, mulching, aquaponics, wicking beds, all sorts of things, all sorts of different options that you can do to cope with it. A lack of rain, which is a significant problem when you're gardening, because plants that don't get water don't grow. So yeah, so you can look back on some of my other videos that actually explain it a lot better. But anyway, on Saturday I will go through and actually explain how the aquaponic system works, show you how all the bits and pieces work, and go from there. But yeah, oh, my duck's going for a swim. I gotta show you. She's so beautiful. I love my ducks. I really do. See if I can get a good shot of her. She keeps diving right under. Go on the other side. Oh, look, there she is. Ducks are so much fun, and Muscovy ducks are fantastic. They are such a brilliant breed of duck. They're actually more closely related to a goose than a duck, but they are just absolutely wonderful. They're fantastic mums, and they're really quiet. So I think she's actually making more noise by splashing around in the pool at the moment than they do normally. She is just really, really happy. Very happy duck. She's having a lovely time in the pond, which I'm still having problems with the plants growing. So if you've got any great aquatic plants or plants that grow well in water and you want to bring them along to the crop swap, I would really, really appreciate it. More than happy to swap you as much kale and silver beet as you want, because I have an abundance. But yeah, can you hear that? That's as loud as you get. That's as loud as the males get. Which means these are a perfect duck to actually have in suburbia. That's not going to annoy your neighbours. Ducks are a bit messy and do like to foul up water, so they really need to have their ponds emptied every day, unless they're in a big pond like this, or at a dam. But in suburbia you don't have that. So yeah, you can just use a kiddie's pool, and they're more than happy with that. I've actually had them in a kiddie's pool before, and I'm actually thinking I'll probably put the ducklings when they hatch into an electric fence with a kiddie's pool, just so that I can keep them safe, because I don't want them falling in the pool when they're too young, and I don't want them getting into the kiddie's pool even when they're too young. I don't know if you just saw that goldfish pop out of the water then. Don't you love it? I love ducks. These ducks are just awesome. And as much as I haven't done it myself, I have heard they're really tasty to eat as well. And I know that sounds a bit strange to some people, but I like eating meat. And I believe if I'm going to eat meat, I should be part of the process of growing and looking and caring for that meat. Not just having that nameless packet in the fridge and at the shops. And not really valuing what I'm eating and valuing the life that's been given for me. It's incredibly hard to actually slaughter and process an animal that you've raised and loved, especially one from birth. But it's also nice to know that I've given the animal a good life and that they've only had one bad day. So yeah, and Muscovy ducks are actually a really good option for people living in suburbia if they want to raise their own meat. So I've been told. I actually haven't eaten a Muscovy before, but apparently it's very nice. But I love watching them. They're just beautiful. I haven't kept them for the idea of eating them. I keep them just because I love the ducks. I think they're beautiful. Yeah, look at her though, isn't she gorgeous? She may have had enough swimming for now. Yep. Oh, the rafters in the road, she can't get out. Might have to move that out of her road. They're such funny little things. Oh, sorry, dreadful camera work, isn't it? Sorry, I'm trying to get a pole so I can, an old net frame so that I can move this out of the road for her. Oh. that was supposed to be growing plants. That it just hasn't quite worked the way I had intended it to. It's very unfortunate. Mostly because the duck kept trying to jump on it and they tipped it over. She's going to hop out. And they're just gorgeous. And she's been laying her fair share of eggs too. Look at those. She'll probably start sitting on them soon. Miss Ducky in there is doing well on her eggs. You probably can't see her. And there's Mama. She's still sitting on her eggs. Probably another week or so and I'll have little ducklings. From Mama anyway. But yeah. Anyway. I digress. I do that a bit, sorry. She's just so beautiful. I had to show you swimming in the pool. So yeah, Saturday we'll be talking about dryland strategies, how to cope with stuff when you don't get a lot of rain. And the aquaponics will be one of the methods that we can talk about. And I look forward to hearing some of your ideas too. Because if there's one thing I've learned about growing things, growing plants and growing animals, you can't know it all. You simply can't. There's always more to learn. Always more to learn. So yes, I'm looking forward to when this bed starts growing well. Oh, look, I've gone and turned that off by adjusting that water the way I did. I need to go to the shops and get some more taps. Some more of these. Some more taps like that so I can adjust the water flow. I need to be able to have water going into that bed. I'm actually thinking I might set up some floating raft systems. Because, well, for one, they're cheaper to set up. They're easier to set up. You don't have to worry about the media. What you do need to worry about is the floating particulates in the water. But if you're only growing things like lettuces and quick crops, then it's not as big a drama. So yeah, and the media can get quite costly, not to mention it's hard work on the back. And you need a shroud, and I'm still waiting for my husband to make the shroud up for me. I'm hoping he's going to do it this weekend. But yeah, so really pleased that I've got this bed back up and running again. So yes, but the media is really, really important. So I probably should have the media in there. I should probably just be patient and wait for my husband to do the shroud or figure out how to do it myself. Yeah, it's on the to-do list. Anyway, I look forward to seeing you guys on the weekend for the crop swap. And if you don't have a crop to swap, that's fine. If you want to, I'm more than happy for you to come and move a couple of wheelbarrow loads full of wood chips for me, and I'll swap you some celery and some chard for that. Or just come along. You don't need to do anything. Just be a part of the community. Get to know people. Find out what's growing. Find out what other people are doing. And just be a part of what's happening. So yes. Anyway, I gotta go. Gotta go find out what the kidlets are up to. And I've still got more plants to plant actually. I have got to get them in the garden. They have been in that pot for way too long, and that passion fruit vine needs to get in the dirt. Needs to get in the dirt. Anyway, any comments, questions or suggestions, leave them below. And for details for the crop swap, check the Permaculture Logan City Qld Australia, I think it's what it's called, on Facebook for all the details. So yeah, and that'll be hosted here at Gendera. Feel free to send me a message if you need the address, if you're in the Logan area in Queensland. Anyway, have a great day. Any comments, questions or suggestions, leave them below, and I'll catch you next time. Have a great one. Bless you.